everybody. It's Heather and Kathy from the Knot House in Frederick, Maryland. Welcome to podcast number 3. We want to thank everybody for watching podcast number 2, and I think we've had some more views of podcast number 1. So please subscribe. I went and tried to get the instructions on how to subscribe, and maybe I can put a link or a button in the video that you can just click on. My son swears there's a way to do it. But if you click on the lady head, it'll open up a window that will allow you to subscribe. And we're working to get 500 subscribers so that we can do our first really big giveaway.
I've already started a little stash of what we're going to give away.
We had some indie dyers contribute some things, right?
We did have some indie dyers. There's a couple little special things from Edinburgh left over.
Oh, okay.
That she may part with and she may not. But I'm working on it. I got it hid out so she doesn't even know where it's at. So that's a good thing.
Like most things. I want to apologize for the lighting. It's a weird gray day, and we've kind of changed our position in the shop, trying to give you a different view, a different spot in the shop, and of course that created lighting issues. So we finally just said, you know what, let's just go with it. And Mom's hair looks really light. You know, I told her that we have to have some yarn behind her so that the white walls don't blend in with her hair.
I'm trying to go the silver gray, and she tells me it just makes me look old. And I said, well, you know, I like it. And she goes, well, then don't complain about looking old. So what can I say, you know?
Right. So we've got some things we want to talk about. I'm getting ready to go out of town for a week, and I wanted to make sure that we had this third podcast up before I leave. And I've got to get it edited and get it out. Maybe I can do that in the next day or two. But we want to talk about the pop-up shop and briefly, and we want to go over some questions that people asked, and then talk about the things that we're working on, and some of the things that were really hot purchases, you know, through the pop-up shop that we had. So I'll start off by just thanking everybody for, if you came to the pop-up shop, thank you so much. Thank you for your patience. I mean, the line was just huge outside the door, and I think next year we're going to make some adjustments to kind of modify or kind of do crowd management, so to speak. It was packed in here in the shop. At one point I was doing a giveaway, and there was a gentleman that was nice enough to kind of use his deep voice and get the room quiet.
Or kind of quiet.
Kind of quiet. But it was a really great weekend, and thank you again for coming. Thank you for your patience and standing in line while Mom and Betsy did the best they could at the register.
We were trying.
Right. And next year, you know, we'll think of some things, some games. Maybe we'll have 2 registers. Mom and I are in debate about the registers, but we're not going to go into that right now.
No, we're not.
Too much to go over.
We do. I do want to say that I have an alternative to the second register. I think maybe an early bird, or maybe an extra day. But you know, thank goodness we have a year to figure all that out. We don't have to figure that out today.
Right. So
Also, I want to thank all the indie dyers, the ones that came, the ones that sent their yarn. I had a lady today tell me that what makes it so special is they get to talk to the dyers, and then they kind of feel like they know them, and when they buy their yarn, it's different than if they've never met them before. So I do want to do a special shout out to all of them and say thank you so much for participating. Some of them have been with us since the first pop-up and have believed in us all that time, and I just certainly want to say that we appreciate it, and we hope we give you the same support.
Okay, enough on that. We're going to get teary-eyed. So let's jump into some of the questions that we got asked.
Okay. So one of the questions was, what was the first thing you knitted, and do you still have it? Well, I knitted a garter stitch scarf, and no, I don't have it. I gave it to my ex-daughter-in-law, and I doubt she has it. So the next thing I knitted was a hat, and I was a very tight knitter back then, and it was for Heather, because I thought she'd like it, and I don't know why, because she doesn't wear hats. You know. But it was too small. It was a very tight. My step-granddaughter, Sarah, who's got gorgeous long red hair, kind of propped it on the top of her head. It was kind of cute. She just did that to try to make me not feel so bad. And then I jumped from that into a sweater because I wanted to learn gauge. I took a class at Auburn University, and Heather says that the sleeves are too long from the very beginning. Of course, Heather would also tell you
Well, they were cuffed here, and so then they were a little bit blousy. And then after I wore it one time, then it stretched out really badly.
Right.
Of course, now I never reblocked it after that, so.
Right.
Right, and it might be in the attic, but.
Probably isn't.
Yeah, but I'm not wearing that sweater again.
She probably threw it away.
Then you got mad at me too, I think, and said you weren't going to make me any sweaters because I think I hurt your feelings.
The sweater thing has been a problem from day one. Day one.
So I don't remember what my first project was. I think it was probably a garter scarf, but I'm sure as soon as I mastered that, I went into something else harder, which I think was just beanies. I made beanies for my stepsons. Sorry, I can't spit that out. Anyway, they really liked having beanies, just a plain ribbed 2x2 or 4x4 beanie, and I would make them all the time.
They still do.
They still do. You do it at Christmas sometimes for them.
Well, they know that I can do a hat, a beanie, in a
day
and a half.
Yeah.
So I get requests Christmas Eve. I sure would like a hat. So I usually try to make that happen.
Yeah. So that's that question. So what's the next question?
I talked about the sweater that I'm knitting that I wasn't going to share, right? And they wanted to know what the sweater was, and would I share it and give a substitution for it that we carry in the shop. So Johi's Samal is what I'm doing, and I will show you the sweater.
It's really pretty.
This is called a star stitch. It's just a 4-row repeat, but boy, let me tell you, if you get it wrong, it shows. But the cable shows up very nice. Great stitch definition. And this is Merino, Polworth, and Zybels. And the Zybels is what is the kind of gray, dark gray tweedy that's in the yarn. I love it. It has a soft twist to it, which makes it really soft.
I think it's too small. She keeps telling me that it's not too small, but I think it's too small. And I'm standing by that, and I just want to go on the record of saying that I said that it was going to be small. So
the yarn that you could use as a substitute is the Fiber Company Cumbria, which I have knitted.
It's fingering, not the worsted, right?
Fingering. We carry both, the fingering and the worsted. And I knitted Heather a sweater out of the fingering.
Yep.
A little looser gauge than what I'm doing. And then this sweater is a very, very good representation of Cumbria. This is the Rhinecliff cardigan. Benita, who is a fabulous knitter and has knitted any sweater you ask her about, she's probably already knitted it. I have envy of this sweater. She said, Heather says it was 7 days. All right, I'll go with 7. I would swear she said 5, but even I'll go with 7. 7 days she did the sweater.
Yeah, the back of it's really gorgeous. This would look good on me, Mom.
If somebody were knitting sweaters
If somebody
for
were
you,
knitting sweaters for me, this would look good.
it would. It would
Anyway,
be very
it's really pretty.
It is seamed. It's not done in the round, which gives it a little more structure, I will say.
So now you can't see this, but it's not. Let me push it back here just a little bit, so maybe you can see. But it's just a short waist sweater. It's not a long sweater.
It's not a long sweater.
Let me just hold it up here like this.
Yeah, there you go.
See, it's a short sweater.
Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And Cumbria is one of the few non-superwash yarns we have in the shop. Shepherd's wool is also non-superwash. And there's some of the Malabrigo that's non-superwash.
So this real quick while I have it is the hitchhiker, and I'm sorry guys, I'm a little distracted because for some reason we stopped recording, the computer's stopping the recording, so I'm having to watch that too. So this is hitchhiker, like I said. Scoop Carroll knitted this for us because we have Into the World, and some people have a hard time visualizing what this is going to look like. In socks it self-stripes, and I think we may have shown that once before, but in a shawl it's pretty. It doesn't really stripe. I mean, it stripes a little bit, but it
Looks variegated.
it looks variegated. So anyway, I thought it looked good with the sweater. So
All right.
So that covers the questions.
That covers the questions. What are you wearing?
So this is my Dotted Rays shawl by Stephen West that is now probably 2 years old, and it still looks great. I used spun right round sock, 2 skeins.
I want to say that color's Oracle.
Oh, Oracle. Yeah, okay. Not Bug Jar. Bug Jar has got a little bit more green in it. But so Dotted Rays is a popular shawl that Stephen West did. Gosh, I think it was
Pretty good long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. A lot of times it's seen done in blocks of color or gradients. So, but I didn't do it that way. I just picked two of the spun right around and did it plain. So anyway, I wear this a lot, and I'm wearing it today. So what are you wearing, Mom?
I am wearing Joji's The Girl from the Grocery Store, done in Julie Osselin. Osselin, excuse me. Fingering, Fino. It is garter, striped, and then it has a feather and fan
This
border.
green is a little brighter than it's showing up right now. It looks a little dull here, but
It does.
it's really for me.
It's a chartreuse green.
It's really one of my shawls
It
that
is.
Mom made for me because it's navy and green, and I love navy and green.
She does. Those are her colors. These really aren't my colors.
I know.
But, you know, I thought it looked good today.
So
All right.
So that covers what we're wearing, covers our questions.
What are we working on?
What are you working on?
Okay, so I am working on Alicia Plummer's Broken Path Mystery Shawl.
So 2 clues have come out, right?
I am about halfway through the second clue. I'm doing that in Magpie Fiber Swanky DK. This is Hot Blooded. I know I talked about doing it in
Brand New Lover.
Brand New Lover, and I just couldn't do it. I will wear this color.
It looks good with your hair.
Thank you. So I'm working on that. I also am working on.
Oh, so I just want to remind everybody to go on as you're finishing that. Of course, it's too early now because it's not going to be finished till the end of July or August. But we're doing a giveaway if you post a picture of your project in our Ravelry group under that thread. We're doing a $50 random giveaway for a $50 gift certificate. Sorry, having a hard time spitting that out.
All right.
So you're almost done with this.
I'm almost done with this. This is Laura Ayler's Summer Camp. I am on the 12th stripe of 13, and then all I have to do is a scallop border on the other edge. This is done in Farmer's Daughter.
Which I've got behind us here. If you want to scooch over, Mom, they can see. Oh, you can't see because of the chairs in the way. There you go. So you can see some of the colors back here. This is what we have left. It was very popular during the pop-up, and when we got it in on the Tuesday before the pop-up, all of our Tuesday night knit night people, I think
Oh my God, they went crazy.
They went crazy. It's really pretty. She did a Dyer's Choice, I guess, and we didn't specify the colors. We said 20 colors, and she did them, and they're just gorgeous. They all go together.
They all
really
blended
well.
together, and I'm usually a control freak, a little bit, and don't like anybody picking colors.
Because they might get yellow, too much yellow.
But she had yellow and she had gold, but it's the yellow and the gold that's in the summer camp shawl, and they were gorgeous. And as a matter of fact, they're gone.
Right.
That we got that in on Tuesday, and I reordered on Friday. So if that tells you anything, her colors just all kind of blend together. So you could do a combination of 5, 7.
Easy.
and you just mix and matched them. It was great. So we're hoping to have that in the end of May.
End of May, 1st of June.
We are.
So,
okay, so those are the two things that I am working on.
Okay. What about me? What am I working on?
Yeah, what are you working on?
So, I'll pick this up and I'll show this. I'm making my way with Across the Pond. This is Across the Pond by Andrea Mowry, and I have finished this section. Finally got the slip stitches and the mosaic done, and now I am on the lattice part. And believe it or not, there are 12 repeats here. Did I say this is lattice part? This is the eyelets.
Yes, and that's not 12 repeats.
No. This is 5 repeats.
Right.
No, this is 4 repeats, and I'm on my 5th repeat.
Right.
But there's 12 total, so that means I'm almost halfway.
With the eyelets.
I'm a third done with that section. I only have this much yarn left, and when I get to the end of that, all we have to do is Kitchener stitch it up, which I'll give it to you so you can do that. And
how
so
nice of her.
I don't know. This is this part goes really fast, so I'm hoping that I can finish it. But if I get distracted by some other projects, I'm not going to get upset about it because it's fall. It's kind of fall colors. So anyway,
it's a little heavy because it's done in a tube.
Yeah, and again, that's Spin Cycles, Dyed in the Wool, and their private label.
There's only 2 colors of private label. No matter what she tells
Okay, fine. So there's 2 colors of private label. The other thing that I'm working on is Cohee's Starting Point Mystery Shawl.
She didn't let me do it. You know, we talked about it last time, and I said I wanted to do it, but she said she wanted to do it.
Right. So this is this yarn is Silky Singleton, Duck Ducks Silky Singleton, which is a merino and silk. I'm just like doing all this stuff up here. It's a merino and silk single ply. She makes these gorgeous color combinations. I got this at the pop-up shop. You can see it's a pretty blue. There's the green. I forget what order they are. Mom, there's a gray, and then a lighter gray, and then my favorite,
Dress
navy.
blues.
Dress blues. Yep. So I started that actually the night it came out, and
I did tell her she needed to go down a needle size, and strange enough, she listened to me.
Yep, I did listen that time. Do you want to talk about the little garter tab trick?
I do want to talk about the garter tab. So I told her this and she didn't do it. And it's not my trick. I don't remember whose trick it was. But on a garter tab, I think on this one they tell you to cast on 3. And then to do probably 8 knit rows so that you have 4 garter ridges. And what you do is you knit across your 3 stitches, you pick up your garter ridges, and then it tells you to turn it one more time and pick up 2 or 3, whatever the pattern is, on your cast on row. So my trick is if you take a safety pin stitch marker and mark those 3 stitches in the beginning, you have 3 hanging down at the bottom, but it makes those 3 stitches when you turn it so much easier to pick up, because by the time you get it turned, they're hard to find.
And why do they make it, or why is it a garter tab?
So it's a garter tab so that you can straighten out the top of a shawl. See how that goes nice and straight? And if you did not do a garter tab, you'd have a dip in it.
Okay.
And it would not straighten out.
So I didn't do Mom's little trick. She told me, she sent me a text and told me about the trick, and I don't know, I didn't do it. But I will say that this is fun because the very first clue, you're using all the 5 colors, and it changes up really quickly. And of course, I'm at the very small part, so that is instant gratification of seeing how it works up.
She does like instant gratification.
Yeah, I admit it. But you asked me if I knew the other day what it was I was doing, and I don't know why you were asking me that.
Well, I didn't know if you knew that it was going to be 2 triangles exactly the same. because in the,
Well, you have to do 2 of each step.
no, it's 2 shawls.
No, I know. What I'm saying is, for every clue, you have to do 2.
Yes,
That's what I mean.
yes.
Right. And
So in her, before the clue came out, she told you that it was a rectangle. So in my head, I thought you were going to go straight across. But
Nope, she
she had
told you.
different plans for that.
So,
Which is,
so I read ahead to know that I was going to have to do 2, and I'm one of those people that I don't like to read ahead in a pattern. Mom does. I think she probably reads a pattern before she starts. And for me, that is just meaningless because I have to have the visual of what I'm doing. Because once you can see what's on your needles, at least for me, then if there's a question that doesn't make sense, then I kind of I can tackle it if I know what I'm looking at. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but for me, just to read a pattern, other than just gauge
I read the
general
pattern
stuff.
first, and then I also check on Ravelry, and I read through all the projects to see if there's something that I don't know, or somebody's done something easier, or
You have time for that.
see, there she goes again.
So anyway, I'm hoping that I'm getting ready to leave for a trip to Maui, and I had to say that it was Maui, as the weather here has been like 50 degrees and rain, but I should have a lot of knitting time, but I want to get both pieces done before the next clue comes out,
Which is Friday.
which is Friday, but I leave on Wednesday, so
Right.
I'm hoping to get that done, and so then I'll have time while I'm there to do the next part on both of the pieces.
Very good.
And then I'll be caught up, and you won't be able to give me a hard time about, keeping up.
I don't think I've said anything about her keeping up.
Right.
I don't know where that's coming from.
So,
All right, so the last podcast we talked about Andrea Mallory's So Faded. And we discussed, I believe that was when Heather told me that she didn't want me doing sweaters for her anymore.
no,
And-
I just said that,
And I took her at her word. I'm not going to do sweaters for her anymore. That's fine. It's fine.
you said that before too, but it's okay. If I ask you to make a sweater for me, you'll make me a sweater. Okay, show us.
So I decided that I would do the So Faded for me. How about that? That's a switch. Around here, that's a big switch. So I've swatched.
The purple looks pretty good.
It does look pretty good. So
Mhm.
there you go. All right. So this top color is it was in my stash, and I am almost sure that is Breathless Candelabra. And then my next color is Western Sky Magnolia Sock Rock Girl. I've always liked Rock Girl.
It's a gray with just a little bit of pink in it.
Just a little bit of pink in it. And then my next color is Magnolia Sock Western Sky. And this is Pop Rocks. This was the special colorway she did for the pop-up shop. I snagged it early because we did sell out of it. And I put it in the back. I didn't wind it until today because I thought that maybe I might see something at the pop-up shop I liked better, but I did not. So that's my third color. And then this is Magnolia Sock again, Western Sky, and this color is Velvet. And the color's pretty,
Yeah, it's
True
a
to-
pretty color.
true to
It's
color.
a pretty purple if you're a purple fan.
and it sold out too during the pop-up shop.
But it's
So,
on order.
It is on
We've got
order.
got it ordered.
So the one thing I wanted to say is in this So Faded, what you do is when you change
It's okay. It's okay.
when you change colors, you stripe it. And I don't know that I'd have to stripe that first color. I definitely don't think you'd have to stripe the second color. Heather tells me that I need to stripe the fourth color. So
I think it's a little harsh. I don't think it's blended enough at the bottom, but
it
it's
probably isn't. And I'm doing it opposite. I'm doing the light on the top, darker to
good
the
point.
bottom.
Good point. Yep. So
Um,
again, it's Andrea Mowry's So faded sweater. You can see how they've got the darker color at the top.
I am doing the longer version of it, not the crop top. Listen to her. She wouldn't do
I
the
wouldn't
crop
wear
top
it either. I can't wear a crop top and show my belly.
Right. And I'm doing the long sleeves. I will say I had to go down 2 needle sizes. It is super wash, and I wanted to make sure it wasn't too big. And I'm just real quick going to talk about how I do a swatch. I make a window, a picture frame for it, so that there's 3 stitches on either side. I usually try to do 3 rows of garter at the top and the bottom, but in between the two, the garter on the sides is 25 stitches, and that's what my gauge is. And it makes it very easy to be able to put a ruler down on it and measure it. And Heather pointed out to me that that's not unusual. Well, it's not for designers or for yarn dyers or yarn companies. That's how they do swatches. But most of our customers don't do them that way.
That's not true. You can't say not most of our customers.
Well, the ones that I have taught to do that way.
Right. So I just want to clarify something, right? So on the gauge on the sweater, it says 25 stitches for 32 rows equals 4 inches. So what Mom is really saying is that she added 3 stitches on either side, right? So that is a total of 31 stitches. So then she just does 3 that's garter. She does stockinette for the 25, and then she does the other 3. So that way she can lay the stockinette down and she can measure and see if she actually gets 4 inches. And it's easy to measure because it pops up, you know.
After it's blocked.
Right, after it's blocked.
I am a real stickler about swatches. Kate from the Fiber Company, I think, says it well, and that is, if you don't block your swatch, there's no need in doing a swatch. You don't have no idea what it's going to do.
Right.
So it calls for a size 5 needle. I did it on a 5, and I was, 3/4 of an inch too big before I blocked it. I did it on a 4, and I was right at 4 inches, but I knew that it was going to grow. So I went down to a 3, and after it was blocked, and I did kind of a really shoddy job of blocking it. I did it here in the sink with paper towels to dry it in because I wanted to be able to show you. But I believe I'm a gauge. I'm going to call it a 3.
So I just want to point out that's 2 sweaters that you're working on for you.
I am. Ask her how long it's been since I've worked on a sweater for me. I did a poncho.
I don't know when you made a sweater for you.
Yeah, right. I did a poncho for me for Rhinebeck, and then it was probably 3 years ago.
Yeah, you did another cable sweater for you.
I did another an Amy Miller cable sweater.
So I want to talk about something that I am working on that I haven't started yet, that I've been thinking about, and I wanted to wait till the pop-up shop because I wanted to see what all my yarn options were. But I'm gonna make a baby blanket. It's undercover baby blanket by Bayeda Jezik. I don't know if that's exactly how you pronounce her name, but she is the artist behind Hedgehog Fibers, which everybody knows. And this is done in fingering weight, and it's kind of got this whole faded thing to it, even though this was done several years ago, or she wrote the pattern several years ago rather. And this is a free pattern, so I know everybody loves free patterns, but I want it
fingering weight done on a size 8 needle.
Right, because you hold it double. Okay, so I'll explain how I do this. Let me show you the color options I picked out. Well, actually, did I pick these out or did you pick these out? No, I think you picked out another Western Sky to go with it. Yeah, you did. You picked out another Western Sky, but I like this. I like this kind of a.
That's a pretty good color.
It's a sherbety kind of. It's called Pretty in Pink. It's Western Sky Magnolia sock. Don't mean to just be showing the stickers there. And Swift Yarns. Her this is just regular sock. It's not a cashmere sock. But so what you do, is it a cashmere sock?
It is.
Oh. All right, I'm gonna get in trouble about that.
Yeah, she
All
is.
right. So it's Swift Bliss Sock. We were able to keep some of this from the pop-up, so we were kind of happy about that because we don't know if we'll get any more Swift yarn until maybe a trunk show. She's gonna remind me to email her about that. Okay.
I've already talked to her about it.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know about that. So
We would like to stock it, and she has gotten so busy. She's not taken on any new customers.
right. And she's got
Hurt
some
my
shows
feelings.
coming up.
Hurt my feelings just a
So
little.
anyway, so let me explain how you do this. You start off with the lightest color and you start in the center, which Mom says is going to be tricky for me because I don't know why she thinks it's going to be tricky for me, which is why I won't come to her for help now if it's tricky for me. But well, I can do it. It's not going to be tricky.
I know you can do it.
I know. So I'm going to have to use double points to get started in the center. But you hold two together, the lightest part, and then at a certain point, like probably a third of the way through, I will hold these two together, okay? And then on the last part, I will hold the two solids together for the edging. You can't really tell from this pattern, but it's a little bit of a lace pattern. It's got, looks like it's got a little bit of a leaf pattern to it, and then the edging is actually done in seed stitch. So I think it'll be pretty, but I also picked out this combination too, which is Western Sky and Swift again. This is Periwinkle Sky.
Swift Bliss Sock.
Swift Bliss Sock, yes, with cashmere and nylon. And this is Periwinkle Sky by Western Sky. So I also like these, and I know they don't really look girlish, but they don't look boyish either. And I thought that Sarah might be okay with the lavender because it's her second little girl. But Mom said she wouldn't be. I texted Sarah and I just said pink or lavender, and she said pink. So
Of course.
So that's what I'll be doing. I'm gonna wind it, and I'm gonna also take that with me to Maui. So you won't even be around if I need help.
Aren't you glad? Not that she'd ask anyway, because she would not.
So let's see, are we still recording? We're still recording, which is good.
All right, so I think that's everything. I think that's got it. Again, we
Let's
want to
see,
say thank you for watching.
Go over everything. Yep, we've covered everything. So I think we're at, and maybe I said this in the beginning, I don't remember. But I think we're at 175 or so subscribers. So we're not far, and we'll keep doing the podcast. And I appreciate everybody that leaves comments. Again, ask us questions that you want us to talk about or want Mom to show or give kind of examples of. Do try to find the subscribe button, the red subscribe button. I'm going to try to put it in the podcast itself so it's easy to find. And thank you for watching. Again, it's Heather and Kathy, aka Mom, and it's the Knot House in Frederick, Maryland. And you can find us on Ravelry at we're just the Knot House on Ravelry, and on Instagram it's Knot House Yarns. On Facebook it's Knot House, I believe. And what have I forgotten? Instagram, Facebook, Ravelry. www.knothousyarns.com. We have an online shop there, and the yarns that we talked about today are online. And
some of the new yarns may not have all the pictures up. I'm working on that. We got a new lighting system going, so bear with me on that.
Oh, you forgot one thing.
What's that?
Okay, just real quick, and I mean we got to be quick.
Oh.
What's coming in new in the shop, so you guys can watch and check back in.
So we have Farmer's Daughter coming.
Right, we have Farmer's Daughter, we talked about.
We talked about that. There's going to be a new order of Western Sky coming in.
That'll take a little bit longer.
We've got a surprise.
Which surprise?
Kettle Yarn.
Oh, right, Kettle Yarn.
Kettle Yarn is a BFL and silk, 55-45, fingering, of course.
It's gorgeous.
Because we need more.
Fingering yarn. We need more fingering yarn in the shop.
I have Carissa working on the Royal Mile.
is it the Royal Mile pattern?
It is.
So there's two colors that she.
Two colors.
Yep. So I found this yarn, and I know I said I was going to be quick, but I just want to say that I found this yarn in Paris, and several years ago. It was in a Paris yarn shop, and it's just so gorgeous. I can't wait to get it on the wall and under the lights, because it has a little bit of a shimmer to it. And we haven't been able to get it until now. We actually
got to meet Linda
in Edinburgh, and we worked out an arrangement to where we could make it work for both of us.
She said it was very hard to tell me no.
Yeah, even you were sick then too. But
I was not at full capacity.
Right. So we're not going to talk about that.
But she did say yes.
And then we have two other yarns that are coming in, and we're going to save that. We won't talk about those. So we've got some new stuff coming in this summer and into early fall.
I am going to TNNA.
Right.
I will be there, and I am looking for new yarns and goodies.
So anyway.
All right.
I guess we'll say bye. Thank you again for watching.
Thank you for watching.
And
Happy Mother's Day
Day to everybody. Yep. Thank you. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks.